No IR for Jonathan Taylor. Surgery successful. 2 to 3 week window holds strong. Still some concern, I think, from a fantasy perspective as to what you're going to get out of him his first week returning from action. So let's say he does miss the 3 weeks. And I don't think it's two weeks. I think it is 3 weeks. But successful surgery, that 2 to 3 week window is now currently a go. I still think he is a total trade away candidate because of the fact that this man, Zach Moss, is going to continue to do work. And upon his return, we saw it last time, an easing in, a gradual easing in, not ripping production from this man, but to continue to give both backs the football for a couple weeks, I think is still a disastrous situation. But good news nonetheless. Good news for your trade value, even if you want to trade JT away. Bad news for Kenny Walker. He's already ruled out. Pete Carroll seems very pessimistic about his availability. So it's looking like it could be yet another week after this one. But even if not, we're pessimistic about this situation. And it's sad because we are Kenneth Walker people. The Fantasy Football Show. More news right here. Aaron Rodgers, Joshua Dobbs. Who's the backup in Buffalo? The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Live whenever news breaks, live after games, live every single Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live most graveyard shifts at midnight. When are we not live is more of the question. But we're here to do work. I work for you. And right now we've got breaking news on this man right here, Jonathan Taylor. This is kind of fresh off Twitter, talking about the surgery, the success of the surgery. Ian Rappaport said that he doesn't think that IR is going to be in the cards. Or actually, this is coming from ownership, that IR isn't going to be in the cards because they don't believe him to be out the 4 weeks. You would put a player on IR, which gives them a mandatory miss 4 games. You only put a player on IR if you're like, they're not really going to come back. We need the roster spot. It's an important thing for a team to keep account for when you're fighting for the playoff berth that the Colts are currently fighting for. Whether you believe they're going to end up pulling it off or not without JT, they would look at the roster spot as a very important piece of that puzzle. And so for this team to not be considering IR means they think he'll come back in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, not 4, or the 4th week. Rather than miss 4 weeks, he comes back the 3rd or 4th week. I think that's the more realistic scenario. But even if he did come back, let's say in 3 weeks, because 2 is very optimistic, not to mention that if he comes back in 2 weeks, he's running the risk of getting re-injured. The re-injury risk is super high. So the last thing in the world we want is for this man, Jonathan Taylor, to go out and put his body at risk because he doesn't feel like he can stay healthy. Okay? So I don't want him back in 2 weeks. If I own him, I am petrified. I'm a petrified Peter. If I think I can get him for the playoff run, I'm petrified if this man tries to come back in 2 weeks. But 3 to 4 week window seems very, very likely. But what does it look like? What does it look like? Let's say he sits out the 3 full weeks, comes back in the 4th week. Is this man going to be sent straight to the bench, or are we going to see a gradual changeover again like we did last time? Let's take it easy with JT. He's our prized possession. We pumped a lot of money into this kid. Let's not run him out there and give him 20 carries his first game back from a major surgery that kept him out 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to ease him in, and for that reason, I'm still out. I don't look at this as like oh, hey, Bob, guess what? Now you get JT back for the playoffs. I look at this like, hey, Bob, now you've got trade value because it's said to be a 2 to 3 week window. Bob, now you can go across position and go get a Devontae Adams straight up. Hey, Bob, now you can go get a Stephon Diggs, maybe if you're throwing a little bit more with JT. A receiver and JT might be able to go get you a doubted Stephon Diggs. Bob, take care of a trade while you have good news that's popping off right now that allows you to get out of this mess, because it does feel like a mess. And this kid, Zach Moss, if he goes out there and lights it up, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's underwhelming. Maybe the pressure of it all, maybe breaking down because he hasn't really been asked to be this kind of running back his entire career and get this kind of workload. Maybe he starts breaking down similar to what a rookie would do. Break down hitting some sort of rookie wall per se. Maybe Moss is going to hit a similar wall even though he's not a rookie. Maybe JT walks right back in. Who the hell knows? But what I do know is so far this year, this man has stepped up when he's been asked to do work. And I don't know that he's just going to go away the first moment this guy hits the field. So I'm trading away at any chance I get. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to go across position and get a player that is at a different position, wide receiver. This man right here, this is not good news. And this is why we had this on the show last week. This is why we've been trickling out, potentially get out of the Kenneth Walker game for a little over a month now. Schedule is brutal. Kenneth Walker is out for week number 13 with the oblique. And it didn't sound, not only is the oblique an issue, the bleakness of Pete Carroll is, I think, telegraphing that this is a bigger concern. And he sounded super pessimistic about his ability to even try and go in week number 13. Makes me really pessimistic for week 14. Makes me really pessimistic for his ability to recapture at all what he was doing earlier in the year. And I know we absolutely love this man, but we have to be objective, and I always will do my very best. I might fall short once in a while. Maybe I dig my heels in here or there, and you guys might think I am, and I might tell you, hey, I'm not. I'm really not. If I was digging my heels in with Achane, if I was digging my heels in with other players, would I jump so quickly off of a guy we've been talking about all offseason long? The answer is no. I'm truly trying to give you my spur of the moment, the ever-evolving context, the reaction as we roll through the season week per week. My job is not to try and predict something in the offseason and see it all the way through thick and thin. That is called a loyal prediction. You're going to dig your heels in, be a loyal Lonnie, and try and say, well, my spreadsheet said in the beginning of the year that Walker would do well. Hey, where do you have Walker or your running backs? Let me get my preseason spreadsheet. Let me flip through it. Oh, Walker's running back 7, and he's going to remain there. That's not how we operate. You don't want to watch a show that does that kind of stuff anyway. You want an adjust and adapting analyst to bring you your content in the shape and form it is at the current moment. And as of right now, with the schedule and all, this is not a good look. And this is a situation that, frankly, unfortunately, we're running from, because if we look at the man's schedule, he played the Niners in week 12, which is highlighted first. Then he plays Dallas this week. Then he plays San Francisco again in week 14, and he plays the Eagles in week 15. Look at the red line, and this is if Walker even plays, but this goes for Charbonnet as well. Dallas, San Francisco, Philly, and Tennessee's no walk in the park either, especially when your offense is puttering and you can't get anything from your quarterback. This is a disaster in the making, and it's unfortunately time to get out of the Kenneth Walker game, which is what we talked about to a large extent yesterday. But this news doesn't help. This news doesn't help. Taylor, again, recap, not going on IR means they don't expect him to be out 4 games. Still could expect him to be out 2 to 3, and then he comes back in the 4th game. But that 4th game could be critical, and if they're in the playoff hunt, which they may or may not be at that point, but if they are, that is a significant game. So to say, oh, well, let's say they were out of the playoffs, they wouldn't mess around with 1 week or 2. They put them on IR. They put them on IR. They might even shelve them for the entire season. And they still could, if let's say they lose 3 games in a row without him, they could bring them back even slower than you imagine. There are a lot of variables here, a lot of moving parts. Everybody thinks they know what they're talking about. And anybody that says it's 2 to 3 weeks, he's back in 2 to 3 weeks. Hello, Jonathan Taylor, Dynasty owner. Hello, Jonathan Taylor. I own him in 5 redraft leagues owner. That is coming from a JT optimistic Oscar. Anybody saying it's 2 or 3 weeks? It's 2 or 3 weeks. Somebody will be in the chat because they were on my last live stream. They were on the live stream before because they didn't bother to watch. And they go, Smitty, without even watching the live stream, it's 2 to 3 weeks. They've already said it's 2 to 3. No, they needed to have surgery in order to know if it was 2 to 3 weeks. Now they know it's 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of times they got to go in. Once they go in, they figure out things are worse, they're better. That no one knows. That 2 to 3 week window wasn't available until today. So optimistic Oscar just owns him in 8 leagues. He'll be in the comments later going, Smitty, he's going to be back for sure after 3 weeks getting all the work. I say so because I own him in 5 leagues. Trade him. Trade him. There are a couple other pieces of news here. This one, look, people have been saying this isn't going to happen, and that's fine if you feel that way. But the Jets opened the 21-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers, torn Achilles. It's like 80 days ago that this happened. Aaron Rodgers, who knows if this guy's going to hit the field. Now, granted, there is some concern that, if he tried to do this when they had no playoff hopes, it would be, putting 2024 at risk. And there is some thinking to that. Maybe he'll have someone talk him down. And there are a lot of people speculating that if there's no playoff hopes, he won't come back. This is all speculation. He isn't necessarily going to tell us exactly what's going through his head. He did say on the McAfee show that there were a lot of variables. Playoff hopes were one of them. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't try and come back for a game or two. It might help him take his time even further. Maybe exercise caution through the entire 21-day window. Who knows? But there is a strong shot that he tries to come back. Like, let's say the Jets win Week 13. Like, what would he do? What would he do if that were the case? Tough to know. It truly is tough to know. But if you're in a Superflex league and you need a quarterback, it's not the craziest thing in the world to pick this guy up and put him on your IR. Because in a lot of leagues, he could still be placed on IR. He's activated from the 21-day practice window, so it depends on your IR rules. But he's certainly a player that I would grab and throw on my bench if I was able to wait on this one. Let me put the schedule up as well for this week. Let me drop this on screen here. Thursday matchups. We got the bye weeks and everything on this. Let me drop this on screen here, and we can have it to reference because there's a lot going on this week. There's bye weeks again. I know everybody kind of got used to no bye weeks last week, but bye weeks are back. Bye weeks are back, and unfortunately, they hurt. They hurt big time whenever you get bye weeks. Baltimore's on a bye. The Giants are on a bye. Vikings are on a bye. Raiders are on a bye. Chicago Bears are on a bye. The Buffalo Bills are on a bye. This isn't as bad as the true bye-mageddon, which only had 4 games, but that was the Chiefs, the Eagles. It had the most important teams on a bye, at least the most, hard-hitting, powerful teams with the most fantasy football producers. But this is a grip. This is 6 teams on a bye right now. So Buffalo's huge. That's a lot of weapons that are lost in this week. Devontae Adams and Jacobs are a big hit. Barkley, Lamar Jackson, Flowers, the Baltimore rushing attack. So a lot of players on bye, and that definitely hurts. Keep in mind the Seattle game is Thursday night. Seattle at Dallas. That's why this news was so pessimistic for Pete Carroll, or what Pete Carroll's interpretation of all of it was pessimistic because it's a short week, So, but again, that matchup is awful, Dallas. This does give Walker another long window of time to get back for the next contest, but it will be the Niners. So, let's say Green Bay somehow, some way wins Week 13. Very unlikely. Not Green Bay, I'm sorry. The Jets. Wins Week 13. Very unlikely, but possible because the Jets play the Falcons, and they play the Falcons at home. Anything's possible. I do think the Falcons probably win this game because I think Bijan's going to run like a monster. But it is possible that the Jets win this game. You got to wonder what's going through the mind of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers may return, because this is about Aaron Rodgers, this rant, may return if the playoff hope is still within reach. It doesn't have to be locked and loaded to where he just steps into a playoff. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Is it's not like Aaron Rodgers. Everyone says, well, he's only going to come back if they make the playoffs. That's not true. He's only going to come back if there's a sense of playoff hope. Like if the Jets win and the right teams lose and the wild card starts shaping a certain way, and the wild card race in that conference is pretty bleak. Like you can make right now, teams that have 6 wins are fighting for a wild card seed. Like this is definitely within reach at this current moment. So if the Jets win the next couple games by way of miracle or by way of defense in Breece Hall, which I hope the hell they just run the ball with Breece Hall, then all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is in the playoff hunt with his team. And Aaron Rodgers could return in 2 weeks and try and win those 2 or 3 more games to try and get the wild card spot. It would be a remarkable story if Aaron Rodgers, let's not pretend it's not possible. It's certainly possible, especially if we take a look at the division or the conference, because the division, they're not going to win the division. The division's all but, I believe, wrapped up, at least in terms of the 2 teams fighting for the top spot, because there's no Miami at 8-3 is so far out ahead of New York. New York cannot clinch the playoffs via winning the division. But if we look at the conference as a whole, let me see if I can put this up as a whole here. There's an opportunity. There's a chance, a prayer. All right, let's see if I can grab this. Here's the standings for the AFC. Okay, so Miami's 8-3. They've got it locked, in my opinion. Baltimore's 9-3. They've got it locked. Jacksonville's 8-3. Maybe it's not locked, but I think they're gonna absolutely lock that down. KC 8-3. They're gonna lock that down. Therefore, you have the 4 teams that automatically make it into the playoffs, locked and loaded in the AFC. That means you have 3 remaining wild card spots to go through for all the teams, and they can all come from one division, meaning the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. In theory, before the season started, before the Patriots, went 2-9. In theory, the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots could all grab all 3 of the wild card spots, and the Miami Dolphins clinch it with the win of the division. That's how the playoff birthing happens. Okay, so at 4-7, they're a ways away. They're a ways away. You got a 7-4 team. You got a 7-4 team, and the rest are 6-5 teams. So this is problematic here. If everybody was 6-5, it would be a much different story. But the fact that you have 2 7-win teams makes it very problematic. Being 2 games back, the only shot would be that 3rd wild card spot, and craziness would have to unfold for the Jets to be able to grab it. I don't know what the percentage. Ziggy, what is the percentage chance that the New York Jets make the playoffs in 2023?
On January 22nd, 2011 at 5 p.m., the postseason odds of the New York Jets were undetermined.
Ziggy, what is the percentage chance that the Jets make the playoffs?
On January 22nd...
Ziggy, stop! Son of a... Damn it, Ziggy! Odds the Jets make the playoffs 2023. All right, let's see what it is. It looks like a 5.3% chance that the Jets can make the playoffs. Jets currently 5.3% chance. Let me put that on screen. It's very small. It's very small. However, we've seen things like that go from 5.3% to 22% with a win and a couple crazy losses. So Jets currently 5.3% chance. I don't know how accurate that is, but it seems pretty accurate. So on a whole, at the end of the day, will we see Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. The only way we're going to see him is if those odds increase, let's say, to 15, 20%, and he comes back to try and grab the rest of it. That's the only thing you're going to see. But we don't need to know that they made the playoffs for him to return. I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people think that's what he's waiting for. He's not. He just wants a shot, and then he might come return. Joshua Dobbs, this is awful news. We talked about Justin Jefferson being a sell high all of last show, right? Yesterday. This is awful news. If the Vikings turn away from Joshua Dobbs, let me read the news first. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said that the team could make a quarterback change when they return from the bye week here in bye week 13. This is awful because there is no better quarterback than Joshua Dobbs on this roster. There is no better quarterback. Let me repeat that. There is no better quarter. Scott, what in the hell you got turned on? I could hear myself. I could hear the background noise. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Scott. The Viking, then it might have been this reverb from, I don't know. Joshua Dobbs getting benched would be devastating for JJ, for Addison, for everybody. He is the best quarterback on the Vikings roster. It doesn't matter what he did last week. He is the best quarterback on the Vikings roster. I think that if JJ is handed a lesser quarterback than Dobbs, I don't know that we see Jamar Chase numbers. I don't know that we see Garrett Wilson numbers. I don't know that we see any numbers that resemble a wide receiver 1. I'm not saying it can't happen from week to week. I'm not saying we can't be surprised, but certainly feels like this is a disaster ready to unfold. And that's why, as I said all show last night, trade Walker away, trade JT away, trade JJ away. If you can still trade and you're lucky enough to be able to trade. Joshua Dobbs news right there. And before we go to Scared Scott, who interrupted the show, it's okay, Scott. Don't worry, it's what you do. Trey Sermon is the Colts' backup running back to Zach Moss. And the reason I say that, and I'm not saying Trey Sermon's earned anybody's respect from a rostership perspective, but Zach Moss has had a history of injuries. Like, it wouldn't be crazy to imagine Zach Moss is everybody's darling running back savior right now. Goes out in week 1. I knock on wood. I don't want to jinx this, but he has a long history of injuries. Sermon all of a sudden is the starter 2 weeks from now. Like, it's certainly possible. So if you own Zach Moss and you don't own JT, or you own JT, you might want to invest in securing that up just so that you have every possible alternative. Not saying that Sermon would do amazingly, but it does feel like Zach Moss is playing better than he's ever played. So part of it is system. And I think, you just want to lock that up, especially if you're counting on Moss, you've made trades, and you're going to roll with Moss as your RB2 going forward. You might as well cuff him. Scott, what can I do for you?
I don't know, Smitty. This week is, I need some deep freaking sleepers at running back and receiver.
Keaton Mitchell at running back.
He's not available.
I mean, how deep you want me to go, bro? I mean, you're gonna win a league. You're gonna win a league with lesser players than Keaton Mitchell going into your lineup? I don't think so.
No, what it is that I've got, like, I'm looking at one league. I'm in the 30 money redraft leagues. I'm in the playoffs in 20 of them right now. I got 3 more that are very, very close, and I've got 7 dead. And I'm taking a beating this week because some of these close ones, like, I'm looking at one right now.
Scott, no offense, but no one cares. Like, I mean that in the nicest way, but no one's sitting here on the phone. They want to hear your backstory. Like, just hit me with the question. Hit me with the question.
Here's how Saquon's on the bench. I have Bijan starting, but I have Darrell Henderson, Kenneth Gainwell, and Tank Bigsby on my bench.
Okay, let's. I got you. Again, no one really. It's no offense, but no. If you can't trade, the only thing I can tell you, bro, is you're going to have to dig into if Roschon Johnson's gone, if you're telling me that, like, even a player like, God, there's really, I'm looking, bro, there's really nobody else that you can even Zeke Elliott, hold on. I'm trying to help you, Scott. Zeke Elliott, potentially, if he's gone. I don't know that you're going to find Zamir White in case Jacobs goes down. I mean, you're talking about sleepers. This is all you have. You can't, there's nobody starting, Scott. If you're telling me all those guys are gone, like Mitchell, there's nobody available to you that's going to just be hiding. Like, no one saw the starting running back. So you have to listen to what I'm saying. The only hope you have is you're going after a Zamir White. You're hoping for a Jacobs injury. You're going after a Trey Sermon, like I just told you, as Zach Moss's injury history catches up to him, and all of a sudden you got a starting running back there for a couple weeks. Latavius Murray in Buffalo looks actually pretty utilized and good. Chase Brown in Cincinnati could rise up. Those are your only shots. Those are as deep as you could go. Anything past that, Scott, you're not winning anything. You know what I mean?
It's just for 1 week. The bye week is killing me, and Olave having the concussion is killing me.
Yeah.
Because it seems like all the leagues that I'm close
Yeah,
in
CEH is another decent one. Tater Toddy is getting handoffs and some work. But that's it, bro. That's it. I'm sorry. Hey, Scott, I got to let you go. Appreciate you.
Right.
Go searching the wire for those guys. And if you got to rewind it. It was a 26. When the show's over, you'll be able to time code it. 25 minutes into the show is where I list off a grip. Scott, I'm sorry if I was a little rough on you. Scott hung up. Sebastian from Cali, you're live. I just can't have someone tell me that no one cares. Look, I got viewers that are counting on me to keep this show entertaining, and I got Scott going, here's the deal. Uncle Billy called up Margaret from Ohio, and you know Margaret's somebody I met back in it was 1997, I think is when the weirdest thing is I went go-kart racing back in 96, and that's when I met Steve, who knew Margaret, and that's how we got hooked up. And so anyway, you don't need to hear about that. I can't do that. I'm running a show. This ain't a Mickey Mouse operation. Sebastian, go. You're live.
All right, JT owner here. What do we think? Singletary, Charbonnet, and Howell for Zach Moss.
Say it again.
I'm a JT owner. What do we think of Devin Singletary, Charbonnet, and Sam Howell for Zach Moss?
Singletary, Charbonnet, and Howell?
For Moss.
I don't hate that. Look, you got to secure your running back one, which is what this is doing. I don't hate that at all. Do it.
I got Hurts and Love, too. So, like, that Howell's my QB3.
Do it live.
Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. I don't mind that at all. I mean, you're kind of trying to overpay to secure up that situation. It makes sense. Jay, did I ever get to Jay's super chat? Trade Sharps with Debo or JT for Eckler or Kyron. I think I did, but of course, the answer is yes. I think I did get to that one, but that one's crazy. Anyway, but Margaret knows Alice. Alice is the one that got me into fantasy football back in '84. And I mean, this is a good story. You'll like this one. I love when people tell me I'll like something because I normally don't. Smitty, you're going to like this story. Alice drafted a quarterback in round 1 back in '84. You're going to love this story. Scared Scott calling again. Let me treat Scared Scott properly. I feel like I was a little harsh on him. Scared Scott, call in. Call in, Scott. I need you. TJ, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. Just want to say, make sure everyone hits that like button.
Attaboy.
Smitty's working hard out here.
Attaboy.
He's got me in the playoffs in 3 of my 3 leagues, so hit that like button for him.
Attaboy.
So should I trade Javonte for Marquise Brown and McBride?
Javonte for Hollywood Brown and McBride?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't mean to sound like I'm now going at you about your situation, but like this doesn't really help anybody or hurt anybody. This is like, hey, you want to exchange, common cards or something, in card trading.
Yeah, because I need a tight end, and this person's trying to make the playoffs, so
You're gonna trade.
I can't do the bye week.
I'll give you my 2 penny cards for your penny card. I love Javonte. I hate the way that comes out because Javonte's our boy, but he's not. If I had to pick a side, and I didn't need a tight end, which Ertz is coming back, so who knows what the value is going to be for McBride. I would probably take the gamble on Javonte personally because I love Javonte. I just, is he going to get the work? He's in a 3-man committee. But, I don't hate that trade if you needed a wide receiver or a tight end. So you're good to go.
All right. Thank you, Smitty.
All right. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
And Margaret told me about this diet I used to do. And you like this one. In 75, I tried this diet similar to the one you're on right now, Smitty, which is lifting during live streams. Let's go to D Money. D Money, I appreciate you. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up?
I called in last night and was talking to you about that trade. I had Derrick Henry and DK Metcalf for the Nico Collins and Kyron Williams. I don't know if you remember that last night.
Nico,
but you told me to call. I pulled it off.
You got Kyron and Nico for Henry and DK?
Yes, sir.
I don't like it, bro. I love it.
Got him.
Got him.
I like it, bro. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Kyron doesn't like. First of all, Nico's really, really good. It's crazy to me that if let's say we wash Nico and DK, and you can certainly make that argument. You absolutely can. Maybe somebody doesn't want to say that they would take Nico over DK, and that's fine. I'm just saying you could argue this. You're telling me Derrick Henry and Kyron are equals? I think not. And the fact that you're trading these wide receivers, that's no gap closer there, bro. That's an absolute lambasting if I've ever seen one. Congratulations, you trade wizard. You trade wizard.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Just hang tight. Don't leave. I got to call somebody.
King 25, code 428. Dispatch Vito Popo. Popo's been dispatched. King 25 out.
Just hang tight real quick. The Vito police are on their way to take care of you. There's a couple, interview questions they'll have for you just to make sure you didn't rob this guy blind and you did this properly. All right. Thank you, D Money. Appreciate you. This is D Money or G Money? D Money. Okay. D Money. D for doing business. Appreciate you. Later.
All right, later.
This guy's doing business for a living. Smashed that trade. Just absolutely smashed it. Let's go over to Terrell. Terrell, what's going on, pal? Terrell, right?
Yeah, what's up?
Terrell. I'm sorry, Terrell.
Terrell, you got it right.
Terrell, damn it. Why can't I get this right? Terrell or Terrell? Terrell. How do I remember Terrell? Terrell. Because Terrell Owens. I want to remember it like Terrell Owens. Terrell.
Yeah.
I'll remember it, I think. Go ahead, Terrell. What's going on?
All right, so I just need some start and sit advice. I'm 5 and 6 in my league. 5 and 7, and I'm 6th place. I'm trying to hold this spot. So basically, the options are I just need a receiver 2 and flex. And I'm looking at Jalen Reed, Achane, Marquise Brown, and Puka. So I just need a receiver 2 and a flex.
Reed, Achane.
Yeah.
Who else? Scott, call back in.
Brown.
Hollywood, okay.
And then Puka.
And Puka. Scott, call back in. Where is Scared Scott when you need him? Scared Scott, I need to make amends. I'm sorry I yelled at you. Reed, Achane, Hollywood, and Puka. If Achane's playing, bro, this is locked. I don't care about the risk. I don't care. I'm not sitting Devon Achane. I'm not like cautious Caleb in the chat that we saw all night last night going, I'm not starting him. I've got to see it with my own eyes and want to cry myself to sleep before I'm going to start him. Well, then you do that. But I'm starting Achane if he's playing football. Puka, there's no way I'm sitting Puka. I like Reed a lot. He's crafty. But Puka's gonna. Does anybody really think Puka's not going through a little rookie wall too, and that he's not gonna bust through and do exactly what Tank Dell's doing? Like, does anybody really think that Puka's just gonna vanish? Come on, Achane and Puka are the smart plays here. There really is no. If Achane can't go or looks questionable, go Reed.
Okay, because I was gonna go Reed over Puka. Because I felt like that was going to be a high-scoring game, like
I don't hate.
Might go down.
I don't hate that. The only reason I say I don't hate it, I wouldn't do it, but I don't hate it. I wouldn't make you take a lap or make fun of you or anything like that. It is because could it be another game that he has a rookie wall? Sure, So like I don't know when he's going to break on through to the other side, but I think he will, and I don't want to be holding him on my bench when it happens. And I still think there's nothing wrong with him. Like, he's not playing super banged up. So he's probably still going to do okay,
Yeah.
So
and I was going to auto start Jalen Warren since he's playing Arizona as my RB2.
Jalen Warren, I don't mind that. I like Jalen Warren. I still like him. I still think that he's getting half the work at least, and people need to like remember that instead of thinking, "Oh no, he's gone now." Like, he's still going to get half the work. He still has a chance to pop off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like his floor for this week against Arizona is like 10 points. That should be his floor. So
yeah,
we'll see.
All right, bro.
All right, thank you.
All right, later. Mars Man, rock out.
Hey, I sent you an Instagram message. Don't say what it is, but just say like yes or no.
All right, hold on. Don't say what it is.
Yeah.
The message says, "You tell Scott to." No, I'm just kidding. That looks like a horrible trade. Do you want me to just say yes or no?
Yeah, I'm on the no side.
Yeah, no, but I don't know the rules of your league. Rules matter. What's set up to handle this kind of thing. You just, if something's bad, does it get overturned? All right, hang tight, rock out, Draven. Draven, hold on 1 second. Rock out. I'll message you after too, and we'll figure it out. But if you got another question, think about it. Go ahead, Draven. I'm sorry.
I didn't get Moss, man. The guy that don't even check his fantasy, that leaves people that's not playing on his starting lineup, just happened this week to want Moss.
So what are you
crazy, dude.
What are you gonna do now, Draven?
I have A.J. Dillon, man, and I'm praying that he can do something. But I have something I may do, and I don't know if I want to do it or nothing. But this guy in our league is supposed to be coming over.
This sounds like a horrible idea already. Draven, whenever you tell me I'm going to do it, I'm not sure if I should do it, Smitty, but I'm going to do it. I know it's the worst idea that you could come up with. But go ahead, Draven. Go ahead. Let's go to your room to discuss this, please.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, psst, psst. Draven. What are you planning on doing, Draven?
Okay. My friend's supposed to be coming over and playing Madden with me. That's what he told his wife. Okay.
That's what he told his wife. That's what he told his wife. Go ahead, Draven. Hit me with it.
But I know that he hasn't been over here playing Madden. He's been helping somebody else that happens to be a female with her fantasy team.
Okay.
Every time he's supposed to be over here.
What's the trade, Draven?
He has Bijan and Etienne. Which one should I make him give me?
For what? Bijan, Etienne for what?
I have James Cook. I'm going to give him Cook, but I'm going to blackmail him. So he's going to have to give me Bijan or Etienne. Which one should I make him give me?
I don't think any amount of blackmail is going to work on this one, Draven. But James Cook for Bijan would be ideal if you can convince this man to do that. But no one's doing that.
Okay.
Draven. No one's doing that. No one's going to, even if you told this man, hey, I'm going to tell your wife that, first of all, you're going to ruin a friendship, number one, if you're going to rat out your buddy. That for whatever he's doing, you're going to tell on him. But no one's doing this trade. No one's doing this trade. Not only that, the trade would probably get vetoed if you got any sort of veto process whatsoever. So, like, it's a pipe dream. Stop going down rabbit holes. There's no avenue to go down.
Desperate, Smitty. I have to do something.
You're not getting that. You're wasting my marker. All right, Draven, appreciate you. Later, pal. Call back if you got another one. If you got a serious question. Yeah, he's out. I waste my marker. Axe, you're live.
Yes, sir. I have a start of my sit-em question. My two running backs, I have Gibbs, Etienne. I have Tate Dell, Brandon Ayuk. Now in my flex, I have Breece Hall, but I have Nico Collins on the bench. Who should I put in the starting lineup? Should I leave it as is? Keep Nico Collins on the bench, start Breece Hall in the flex instead, or put Nico Collins in Brandon Ayuk's spot, or leave Brandon Ayuk there?
I think what you have in is correct. I think Hall's kind of like a look. I really want to play Hall this week. Man, that's tough. I mean, Dell and Nico both can go off. There was a caller last week before the games. I think it was Friday night, Saturday night, maybe Sunday morning. I forget when it was. But he asked me, should I sit Nico or Dell? And I'm like, play both of them. And he's like, play both of them? But what if... Play both of them. Both of them had days. You know, actually, Dell had the lesser day, but Dell almost had 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. I mean, he was very close to having 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. It was crazy. But It's not a bad move to play both of them. I just think that I have a feeling that the Jets are trying their best to get Aaron Rodgers in a position to try and like make a little run, even though, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is not waiting to decide to come back if they've clinched the playoffs. That's what a lot of people are wrong about. They're deciding to come back if there's a hope, like if they start winning games. So I do think they're going to run the ball against Atlanta. I do think Hall has one of those days that we get excited about, but he will be inconsistent as we go. I guess I would say, chat, vote, Hall or Nico or Hall. We got a $200 hauler in the building right now. 200, hang tight, callers, if you can mute real quick. Low Kane dropping a 200 wad on screen, live right now. Sebastian left. That's okay, Sebastian. You can call back. $20 hauler. Unbelievable.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Low Kane coming in with the strong.
Finish him.
Whoa. Sorry, Low Kane. Low Kane coming in with the strong $200 wad. Set my lineup 12-man PPR. QBs are Kyler and T. Law. Chat, we going Kyler or we going T. Law? We're going to do a voting system on this to make sure we get this damn right. I'm going to say Kyler over, Kyler T. Law. That's a tough one. Chat, what are we thinking on this one? Kyler or T. Law? Kyler or T. Law? Hit me with your vote. Let's get this one proper. I'm gonna say Kyler's probably. Damn, that's tough, bro. That is tough. I think Kyler's like around like the 10-ish range across the industry average rank. And T. Law is probably right around like 6 or 7. And it's the Bengals. I'm going to go Law Dog. Yeah. I'm going to go Law Dog. Plus, Kyler Murray has the Pittsburgh matchup, which is a lot tougher. Let's go Law Dog. Law Dog in the building. The chat saying Law Dog anyway. I agree with the chat at the end of the day. That matchup's good. Law Dog's coming in around 5 or 6 across the industry in terms of quarterback ranking this week. Law Dog it is. Running backs, Moss and Kyren and Monty. Those are 3 really good RBs, so let's assume you're starting all 3. One is a flex, and if we got to take one out, we'll come back and take out probably Moss if we need to. Your wide receivers are Tyreek and Ridley. And we also need to put the bye weeks up on screen here. Whoa. Bye weeks up on screen here, just in case we forget what we're doing. Okay, so Moss, Kyren, and Monty's on a bye. So Moss and Kyren. There we go. So locked and loaded. I'm sorry, Monty's on a bye. That's why I needed to look at that. I'm already thinking of week 14 in a lot of ways. I'm doing week 14, some week 14 prep content for the playoffs. Monty's on a bye, so you're gonna go Kyren and Moss, and there's no debate there. Those are your top running backs. We're not going Sharbs. Sharbs is not somebody that we're putting in. Rogan, I'm going to put you on hold here. Rogan, hang tight. Put yourself on mute if you could, Rogan.
For sure.
Thank you. Wide receivers, we're going Tyreek Hill. We're going Ridley with Law Dog stacked. Even though you don't get more points, it's still fun to do. You've got oh, Monty's not on a bye. What am I saying? Monty's not on a bye. You're right. I'm sorry. Monty's not on a bye. I think my mind was thinking Chicago. I don't know. Okay, so Monty, Moss, Kyren. Okay, those are your running backs. Tyreek, Ridley, Keenan. So the question is, in McBride Craft, you got to go McBride. Guys, I'm sorry, Monty's not on a bye. My brain was thinking Chicago. I don't know why. I know why. He played for Chicago, but my brain was going back in time. Do we bench in Locane? Can you start 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers, or is it 2, and a flex? Because if it's 2, and a flex, I don't know if I have it in me to bench those wide receivers other than Ridley. Like, as much as I love Ridley, Monty feels a tiny bit safer. So I guess if I had to bench Monty, Ridley, I'm benching Ridley. But I'm just hoping you can start 3 and 3. Monty better not be on a bye. I'm starting Laporta, says Angelo. I'm sorry. My brain's fried. And for some reason, I was just Chicago. You ever do that when a player changes teams and you still associate the player with that team? And like you see the bye week and you're like, oh, Chicago's on a bye. Monty's on a bye. Ridley versus Monty. Can we get a vote on Ridley versus Monty? Locane, if you can start both of Ridley and Monty, you can start 3 and 3, then we're golden. There's no dilemma here at all. But I want to get the chat vote to vote Ridley or Monty or Ridley. Who are you starting? I know it's tempting to say Ridley with T-Law, but I don't want to just do that. I don't want to just say we're starting the stack. The stack doesn't get you any more points. We got to make the right decision. So if you guys could please vote on that, please vote. And then this other part of the question, thoughts on my team overall. Decent. Traded Waller for McBride and Kyren week 7. That was a fantastic trade. Also traded Pearson, Addison for Moss and JT. That's still good. That's still great. Great show. Thank you, Locane. Appreciate your $200 wad. Sit Ridley, says Angelo. What do we got here? Vote, please. Vote, please. Monty or Ridley? Ridley or Monty? Who are you starting this week, please? Hoosier says Monty, but I don't know if that's sitting. Are you sitting Monty or playing Monty? Please tell me if you're playing or sitting Monty, playing or sitting Ridley. We're getting a lot of Monty votes. I think they're voting to start Monty and to sit Ridley. And I agree. I think Monty's a little safer than Ridley. Thank God Gibbs isn't on a bye. I was cross-associating that. I'm like, okay, Monty's on a bye. I just glanced at Chicago and just reminisced about him being there. And I was like, Monty's on a bye. Then I cross-associated that with Gibbs maybe being on a bye. And I'm like, Gibbs is on a bye this week? No, he's not on a bye this week. Monty's not on a bye this week. What the hell am I doing? Playing Monty, sit Monty, playing Monty, Keenan Allen. Start Monty. Yeah. Locane, can you call in too? But I think we got you taken care of, Locane. And as for your team overall, I wish you had, I like T-Law a lot. I like Kyler a lot. I wish you had like a Hurts or a Mahomes or something like that. But like, that's the only thing. Past that, your team is really good. Kyron coming on strong. JT was coming on strong. You were sitting pretty. You probably had the best running back room in the league before the JT injury. But Moss is crafty. Monty's crafty. These are really crafty RBs. You got a very solid RB room. And the fact that your wide receivers are absolutely popping off in unison right now in Tyreek, Ridley, and Keenan, you're golden. McBride could lose some Ertz, share to Ertz or whatever, but I still think he's a decent tight end at this point. What happened to Tank Dell? What the hell happened to Tank Dell? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Blind Larry? You better not be spreading fake news here. What are you talking about? He just didn't practice. No, nothing happened to him, bro. He's just resting. He's resting, bro. He's a maintenance day. God, you scared the hell out of me, Blind Larry. You scared the hell out of me, Blind Larry. Jeez. Putting megaphones and multiple question marks and all caps, Blind Larry. You gave me a heart attack, Blind Larry. Locane, appreciate your $200 hauler. Love your team. Again, in recap, love your team. Think it easily could walk into the championship and win. Knock one team off at a time. And the only dilemma is, well, first of all, you're starting Tyreek, Ridley, Keenan. You're starting JT, Moss, and Kyron. I'm sorry, Monty, Moss, and Kyron. And obviously JT's an unfortunate situation, but Moss should be pretty good. So Kyron, Monty, and Moss. If you can't start 3-3, then it comes down to Monty, Ridley. We're probably sitting Ridley. I hate to say it. Okay, thank you, Locane. Locane to the freaking moon. $200 hauler. TM42, is Sharps droppable? I don't know. It depends on the scenario. I can't say for certain. I would say that, like, is there a chance you're going to use them? Maybe not. So it depends on what you can pick up. But am I dropping them for like a wide receiver 5 or 6? Probably not. I got offered trade. I trade Goff and Kamara for Justin Herbert and Moss. I trade Goff and Kamara for Herbert and Moss. I probably take, it's 2 QB league. You got to take Herbert. You got to. There's no dilemma here, Silva. If it's a Superflex or a mandatory 2 QB, you said 2 QB league. That's different than Superflex. Superflex is an optional second quarterback, but in 2 QB, it's even more of a reason you need to make that move. This one here got a trade offer before the deadline. They offer Kamara, Waddle, and Freiermuth for my Javonte, Pittman, and Laporta. I'd take the Kamara and Waddle side pretty easily. Yeah. There's pros and cons to it, but like I think the pros far outweigh the cons on that one. What round draft QB and 6 point? What round to draft a QB and 6 point per TD 12-man league? You mean like going forward? I think, a 6 point per TD pass. I mean, Hurts and Josh Allen, and I think even Mahomes next year will all warrant second round value easily in 6 point per TD leagues. Look at Hurts, what Hurts is doing right now. Look what Josh Allen's doing right now. Sit 1, Demont, Ramondre, Debo, Ridley. God, I guess I sit Ramondre. I'm not saying I don't like him this week, but he's the odd man out of that group of really good players. Swift, Javonte for my JT, Moss, and JSN. I would say like it feels a little even. I'd probably rather have the Zach Moss and JT. I think Zach Moss and Swift are very comparable, and Moss could be better than him. So I'm probably going to say I think I hold the duo, the Colt duo, just because it's in a mess right now. Doesn't mean that it's devalued so much you throw it away when you got both Moss and JT. You got both Moss and JT, you're not really in a panic. I like Swift, but you're safer with Moss and JT. 8-4 because of you, Smitty to the moon. Thank you, Cam. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Your team is straight fire. This one from Hoosiers, $10 hauler. Appreciate this one. I'm coming for you, phone callers. Hang tight. I'm sorry. Hang tight real quick. This one here from Hoosiers, $10 hauler. Desperation move. Traded Saquon and Laporta for Etienne, Thomas, and Likely. I could see that working out, and I could see that burning you. The thing is, I like Laporta bouncing back. I think he hit a rookie wall, and he's broken through it. Barkley's hit and miss. Barkley literally, here's the reason why I say maybe you take the chance on Etienne, who's looked horrible as of late. And who the hell knows if they take away half his work or something, though. So there's a big risk there. But I will say Saquon's the kind of guy that could literally lose you a playoff game. And then the next week he has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you're like, you freaking disgust me. Because he'll have like 40 yards or something. That offense is putrid. Etienne's at least in a good offense. But at the same time, you're losing Laporta too. I guess I quietly lean Saquon Laporta. But I don't mind this because I do fear that Saquon's going to leave you hanging. The problem is, though, if Laporta goes nuts, he could carry the weight of Saquon. And at the end of the day, is Saquon Laporta, even if Saquon goes up and down, are they going to outscore Etienne and Thomas on the year from here forward? I kind of think Saquon and Laporta will. So, also have Goff, Kyler. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have necessarily done that trade. I think Saquon Laporta, and you say desperation move, but like it didn't really solve or fill a hole. It was a 2-for-2, a tight end and running back for a tight end and running back. So it's not, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know about desperation move. I don't hate it though. I certainly will be rooting for Etienne, and remember how good Etienne was playing. There's a world where Etienne goes back to that. I just don't know if I feel like it's super likely at this current moment, but I certainly could change like that if he has an amazing game. Need help? Start Steelers D versus Arizona or Atlanta versus the Jets. Oh, I guess I would go Steelers. I guess I go the Steelers D. I'm not going Atlanta. If it was the Jets, I was hesitating to make sure it wasn't the Jets. You were saying you have Atlanta. I'd probably go Steelers D. Got offered Achane for Monty. Monty is my flex, not much depth. I would take, honestly, Monty's safer. I'm not going to lie to you. But I would take the Achane gamble. But that's me. If you got a lot of Achane shares, you don't necessarily need to make this move in that league. Like, you know what I mean? You could keep Monty if you own Achane in like 3 other leagues. But if you don't own Achane in any leagues, I'd take the gamble personally. But I want you to want to do it yourself because there is risk involved. Lots of people asking about Dell's calf thoughts. Yeah, he didn't practice on Wednesday. The report I have here, it says while Dell was able to play the full game, he did not check out of the game. So there's some indication he's battling. He did get his calf checked out after the game, I mean. So there is some indication that he's battling a legitimate injury. However, he spent an off day on Tuesday taking 10 kids, not his 10 kids, 10 kids from a local community shopping on a shopping spree for the holidays. I think he's getting a maintenance day. You know what I mean? Like if you were that injured, would you be seen going shopping and walking around malls and walking on your calf? Like I'm not concerned, Vampy, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it. But it sounds like he is good to go. Where's Scott? Scott, call in. Scott, where are you? Scared Scott, I need you, pal. Marsman, rock out. You got anything else, pal? Marsman, rock out.
Hello?
Yeah, you got anything else?
No. basically the thing I want to talk about.
I'll leave you an IG message, right?
Yeah.
All right, rock out to the moon.
Appreciate it.
He's in the building. Rock out. He's in the building. Rogan from Cali, you're live. I appreciate you waiting.
You're all good, man.
Hey, this is Jason.
Hey, Jason, are you Jason? I know you're in Cali, but is your name Rogan?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Rogan from Cali, go ahead.
I appreciate it, man. You told me to call back in after the draft, bro. You said I'd be rated really low, and just to watch out for the season and what happens. And bro, your shit hit, bro. I'm 10-2, so wanted to say thank you. Everybody smash the like. This man's a legend.
10-2.
Quick question. I made a trade on the last minute of the deadline. I got rid of Kenneth Walker and I got Ramondre to kind of even out my squad. What do you think on that?
Can I be honest with you, bro? This is so painful to say. But at this current moment, I'd rather have Stevenson. I would make this trade right now, and I hate.
I did it.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, I would if you set this in front of me. I'd be very, very reluctant to do it, but I would have to take Stevenson on the hope that Stevenson is going to continue to be used more. Doesn't feel like he's completely, a lost fantasy football, player. He feels like he's got the potential still. The offense is putrid, but I would rather have Stevenson. I hate to say that. It's just he's injured right now. Did you have Charbonnet?
No, the guy who traded me has Charbonnet, so I kind of sold it to him as a handcuff.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do with that? You have to take this, so I don't mind that trade at all. What's your team? Read your team off.
Yeah, I'll do it quick. My team is Josh Allen, but he's out this week. But I picked up C.J. Stroud early, so I got Stroud, Gibbs, Hall, Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
Rashee Rice, I picked up. I got him.
Bro. He's on a heater.
Yeah, McBride and Kincaid.
Nice, bro. Yeah, I mean, let me just tell you, there are very few 10-2 teams. Like, I would say,
it's my first year playing, and this is a Shark League, bro. My homie who got me in was like, dude, I've never seen a team do this, bro. Like, I'm killing it on points allowed, points forced. Like, I made some switch ups from what you gave me the advice on at the start of the year, but just like Rashee Rice, Stroud, just like doing a lot of studying and shit. But,
nice, man.
Got DJ Moore and Downs and the Browns and Cowboys. So,
nice, bro. Yeah, Cowboys have been a league winner.
Would you play the Cowboys over the Browns this week?
This week's tough. Let me pull this back on screen here. So the Browns are away, right? The Browns are at the Rams, and the Cowboys are Thursday night. No, I'm not sitting the Cowboys, bro. Like the thing about the You what?
They like the prime time.
First of all, yeah, they're a prime time team, but they're also going up against a struggling offense. So like why are we even going to hesitate on that one? But I'm not saying I don't like the Browns, but the one thing about the Rams is the Rams know how they're a confusing team for defenses to game plan against because they're so dynamic. And if anybody's going to rout a defense that shouldn't, it's the Rams.
Facts. Yeah.
So
okay, I'm going Cowboys. I guess like my last question was I got Tajay, right, just chilling on the bench, and I saw somebody just drop Keaton Mitchell and Roschon. Would you do like going into the playoffs, right?
Mitchell.
I got a pretty strong squad. You drop Tajay for Mitchell right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, Mitchell still feels like a poor man's watered down version of Achane. Not because he doesn't have the talent necessarily, but because they don't necessarily use him the way that they should. But hey, man, Gus Bus has got a string of injury history, so like you never know what's going to happen 3 weeks from now. Keep in mind the season's still very long. We're in week 13. You got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 weeks. In 2 weeks from now, something could happen. So. I'm taking Mitchell. Roschon's interesting, but he plays on a crappy offense that continues to disappoint. So give me Mitchell all day long, bro. Absolutely smash that.
Because Tajay doesn't look like he's going to get the work, does it? Unless
Henry
goes
anything
down,
can
but-
happen there too, but he's also on a bad offense. So it's like Roshan, bad offense, bad situation. Spears, bad offense, bad situation. Mitchell, a playoff contending, Super Bowl contending team. Like, it's pretty easy for me.
Last one, gun to your head. Like, do you start Rice, Downs, or Jaden Reed? Like, if DJ Moore's out, like, I'm thinking Rice.
Rice.
What do you think?
Rice has been he's got some of the best targets per route run metrics in the league, and we've just been waiting for him to run more routes to get those targets, and he finally did. He had like 10, 11, I think he had double-digit targets in week 12. So feels like we're there, and they want to get in that passing attack in a groove, so they're probably going to use him consistently. But, I mean, anything could happen between those names. They're all very good, but I would go Rice.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't want to take up any more time.
All right, later, Rogan.
Appreciate everything.
All right, later, Rogan. Appreciate you. All right, let me go over to Jason from Cali, another Cali guy. What's up, Jason?
How you doing, Smitty? Thanks for taking it.
Yep. Rob, I'm coming for you.
Here's the situation. I just lost Jonathan Taylor. I'm 5-7. I'm in the last spot of the playoffs. I'm trying to fill the void. I just got Kyron Williams back. He went to the moon last week, and I started him. So I won my week. But I'm trying to think, like, I just picked up Charbonnet off waivers because I dropped him earlier because I had Kenneth Walker. And, like, I just knew he wasn't going to do shit against SF. But at this point, I'm down bad. So I picked up Zach Charbonnet. Is he a start versus Dallas? I also have Achane, but I don't even think he's going to play. I'm just like the bye.
Why do you think Achane's going to play?
I'm a Finns fan, and I really thought he was going to play last week, and they made it seem like there was a high probability, and then he didn't. And I heard some rumors. I don't know if it was through like Miami media because I watched one of these shows called The Finsider. So what he reported, or what the group reported, was that apparently they don't like the situation of the field against Washington on Sunday. I don't know what that has to do with it. If it could put him at a higher risk for tweaking the knee again.
I'm not saying. Look, this could come true just because they want to be cautious with them and to be unrelated reason. But I could tell you one thing for certain, man. Miami Mike McDaniel's not letting people know. You can't even get a straight answer from him at a press conference. Like, you ask him about, hey, who's your, how many touchdowns did Tua have last week? I forget. And he'd come up with some funny riddle or joke or something. Like, this guy's not telling anybody anything. So I can tell you right now that if they sit him, it's not because of the field or anything like that. I'm not saying that isn't a consideration, whatever. But I can tell you that that's not out there as, okay, they're giving people this information. That would be the worst way to coach. A lot of people are speculating. There's nothing right now that indicates he's not playing. So I would fully expect to have him. And if for any reason he sits one more week for precautionary reasons and not just because of the field, then, Sharbs is a tough play. I don't like it, but it is what it is. I mean, he's getting volume. I don't know what your other alternative would be, but if Achane's playing, it's Kyron and Achane to the moon, bro.
So I got Kyron, Achane, Warren.
Oh, you got Warren too? Oh, you start Warren over Sharbs.
Right.
Absolutely.
But the dilemma is I have everybody on bias pretty much, so I'm having to start like Purdy at QB. I just traded last week. I don't know if you want to give me the Smitty approval or not. I didn't run it by you before I did it. But it was a last-ditch effort on the last day of the trade deadline. I got Mike Evans for Christian Kirk and Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
Mike Evans, JT, Kyron all popped off for me. So
I like
that
it.
looks good. But now with the JT injury, I agree with your earlier video. I already watched it. I think it's more like a 4-week injury, and that's coming back like second round of playoffs. So I don't even know if I make it that far.
Yeah. Well, you got to start Warren, not Charbonnet. Sharbs has got a horrible matchup.
So I got Hawkinson on bye for my tight end.
All right, last question. I got to roll. Hawkinson or what?
Okay, Cade. Who do I pick up off waivers? Pat Firemuth already got picked up. Is it like Cade Otton? Maybe like do you have any suggestions for a tight end off the waivers?
I mean, you'd have to tell me who's there, man. That's a tough question to answer.
All right. Well, I already got
our waiver. Let me show you the waiver. I mean, the waiver wire show. It was Taysom Hill for our Moose. You're saying Moose got picked up, and Moose should be ranked ahead of Hill probably. Likely.
Likely's on bye.
Oh yeah,
I was
that's
thinking
right.
maybe Higbee.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Higbee.
He's playing. Higbee.
Yeah, Higbee. Probably Higbee.
Everett.
Probably Higbee.
Higbee.
Yeah, probably Higbee.
Copy.
But I mean
Green Bay.
that's a tough one, bro. Those are all so close, and they're all like maybe 2 or 3 point guys. It's not like you're just hoping that like Higbee gets into the end zone. But Higbee does get targets, and I don't know. I think Higbee's not a bad option.
Thank you, Smitty.
All right, later, bro. All right, next up, I got to go to 30-second question, guys. I got to get out of here. Sebastian from Cali, you got 30 and 30 alone. So get it out.
I got Josh Allen on bye this week and Devontae Adams. What do we think of Breece Hall and Adams for Dell and Rachaad White?
White and Dell. Man.
I'm 6, and I'm also gonna send Charbonnet and Stafford for Goff because there's no QBs on waivers.
Let's put that to a chat vote. Rachaad White and Dell or Hall and Adams. I lean toward. I don't know. That's so tough. White's been playing great. Vote in the chat. Check the chat for the vote. Hall and Adams or White and Dell. Please vote in the chat. Cam, you got 30 seconds.
Yo, so one quick question, Kyler Murray or Herbert starting this week?
I mean Herbert, but let me look at a couple things real quick. But I don't think I could sit Herbert for Kyler yet. I like Kyler, but Kyler's, yeah, I don't think that's even remotely. I mean, Herbert's like, he's got a not so great matchup, but it's not horrible either. I mean, like it's what you would consider like a B grade defense that he's facing overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyler's facing a similar D in Pittsburgh, but I think I'm going with the guy that's got a more upside. I'm not saying Kyler doesn't have eventually 3 TD upside because he could run for 1 or 2, pass for 1 or 2, but Herbert's got more likely chance of getting 3 or 4 touchdown games. So I can't sit Herbert there. I like Kyler, but Kyler is certainly, QB 9, 10, 11 this week. Herbert's like 6, 7, 8. So it's not like they're far off, but it's not a very, very close one.
If Olave does not pass concussion protocol, would you play Thielen or Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp. I'm not sitting Cooper Kupp. I get he's struggling, but Cooper Kupp and Puka, I just can't sit him. Not for those options. If you were talking
I have Zach Moss on my in my flex with Olave and Mike Evans as my 1 and 2 wide receiver.
Yeah. All right, Cam. Appreciate you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Later. Ron Navy. Ron Navy.
I hit the wrong button. I was on mute. Anyway, how's your back, brother?
It's hurting. But when I do the ice bath, I'm going to do the ice bath before my 8 p.m. show. It gives me about like 70% mobility for a while. Like the ice bath is great. But right now it's killing me. But
you
it's
gotta go pick up your kids, right?
Yeah, I got to do a few things. But
yeah,
it's good. It's way better than yesterday, but it still hurts.
Try to pick up some, since you're going out, try to pick up some Salumpas lidocaine patches and put them on the part of your back.
Yeah.
They
All right,
work.
I'll look into it.
The lidocaine, so get you a box of those. Usually it's like 4%
All right,
lidocaine, but the patch, try that. Anyways, get going. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Ron Navy.
I think Pickens has a big.
You think Pickens what?
I think Pickens goes off this. I think Pickens and Warren both go off this week because I read on the Steelers site where they're not happy with Johnson at all. And they're looking to involve Pickens and Warren getting them going this week against Arizona.
I hope Warren does prove to be what I think he could be. All right.
Later.
All right, later, Ron. All right, phone lines are closed. Appreciate everybody. Salty Chopper dropping a 20. Rob dropping a 20. Let's go with Rob first. Rob, appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Rob. I almost went to Draven's room there. Let's see. Rob's super chat in PPR need to start 3 off of Kamara, Kyren, Pacheco, Swift. I think you're starting Kyren, Kamara, and Pacheco. I like Swift. I don't hate Swift at all, but Swift is somebody that I think with that crew, he's the odd man out. But he's certainly a fantastic running back. It's just you've got 3 running backs that are just better. Pacheco's, playing amazing. So Rob, appreciate that.
Motion detected at the backyard.
Mel, appreciate you. $5 holler. Happy holidays, bro. PPR pick 2, Warren, Watson, Downs. Downs and Warren are safest. Watson and Warren are the higher risk, higher upside. I wish there was an easy answer here, but there's not. They're all 3 very, very good options. It's just Watson comes with more risk, but has a touch more upside. I mean, Watson could be a 2 TD guy at any moment, but he could get you 4 points. I think I go Warren for sure, but Downs is a little bit safer. The rapport with Downs and Minshew is real. So that's a safe play. Do I add Douglas or B. Cooks? B. Cooks is probably safer than Douglas because the offenses. I roll with the better offense. And Cooks is pretty consistent. He's like a wide receiver, a pretty darn good wide receiver 4. And rank Lockett, London, Douglas, Cooks. I would go Cooks, London, Lockett, Douglas. I know a lot of people like Douglas, but I just don't trust the offense. Salty Chopper with a 20. Salty Chopper with a $20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My back is killing me. Warren, Hall, or Charbonnet this week. Probably going to go Warren for safety, Hall for high risk, high reward. Salty. Again, I wish there was an easier answer here, and I wasn't wishy-washy with this one, but Hall is going to have more risk, but he's going to have way more upside. Not way more. He has the home run ability that I think Warren has if Warren's not, given all the work. We thought Warren was going to be given the starting job. He still may acquire it through one more game of just playing better than Najee. All it takes is one bad Najee game, and they do sometimes run right away from him and go toward Warren. So once Warren's getting like 70% of the volume, 65, 70% of the snap share, he will have the same home run ability as Hall has. Hall has a worse offense though. And so I'd probably say Warren's your safe play. Hall is your higher risk but bigger reward swing. I like Hall this week. I like Warren this week. That's a tough one. Chat, can we vote Warren or Hall? Hall or Warren? Please vote on that one. We need your help. Mel needs your help. Took hours of convincing, but with no IR news, I was able to sell JT for Achane. This is what I'm talking about.
Got him. You've just been...
And all the scared Scots out there. Scott, speaking of scared Scott, call in, please. The phone lines are closed, but I'm opening for you because I appreciate you, Scott. I'm sorry I told you not to tell stories on the show. I think Scott took that hard. He hung up. He was upset. Scared Scott, call in real quick. You're the only one that I'm going to answer a call for right now. If you call in right now, Scared Scott, you're the only one. You're special, okay? You're special, and I appreciate you. I forget what I was saying. Let's go week 13. Ron Navy, $20 hauler. Ron Navy, appreciate you. Let me drop this $20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Oh.
Alert.
The back hurts so much. Let's go week 13 for your back. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you. Ron Navy to the moon. Prayers up to Miss Navy. You got really good news. Things are looking really good for Ron. Appreciate that, Ron. Scotty called in so the show can be extended, says Rushman. Warren over Hall. Oh, that was where, yeah, Superfish is Warren over Hall for the playoffs. Warren against the Cardinals. Book it, says D-Town. Warren. Kind of a mixed bag, but it seems like the chat's leaning Warren slightly. All right. I appreciate you all. I'll see you at 8 p.m. Thank you to Ron Navy for the $20 super chat. Thank you to Rob for the $20 super chat. Salty Chopper, Warren or Charbonnet or Hall. Again, Salty, it seems like the chat leaned Warren slightly. And I think that isn't a bad play for safety. Locane with a $200 hauler. By the way, Locane, real quickly.
He is a unicorn.
Anybody that drops on the over $100 hauler gets on the unicorn list. So Locane, you are a unicorn E, if you will. So we'll put Locane on here. $200 hauler from Locane. Absolute monster. Thank you, Locane. Appreciate you. So thank you, Locane, for that $200 wad. And everybody else who dropped a super chat, from Mel to Alec to Vamp to CJ to Danny to Hoosiers to Cam to Saya to Lance to Isaac to Christian Silva and TM42. You guys all rock. I'll see you all for the 8 p.m. show in just a little bit.